Hey y'all, what it is, what it do? It's your girl, it's your favorite Brittany. She's back, she's better with another video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, like the video, click the bell to be notified of every time I post. You know what it is, I know what it is. We know that your girl posts frequently. All right, y'all, say it with me collectively. We are jumping, we are skipping, we hopping, we leaping, we doing a ducky pow. All right, okay, y'all, into this video. Click the link down in the description box below to become a paid member on my Patreon. All right, y'all, come, without further ado, let's go get into this video. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about Big Ivory being on the Sway podcast. Now, honestly, he was giving her flowers. He kept, I'm proud of you, I'm proud of you, I'm proud of you, I'm proud of you. Yeah, because out of all of the Now That's TV people, Ivory has definitely, made her mark. I definitely feel as though South Central Baddies wise, even when she was on there season 4, she made her mark season 4. Season 4, it was like, that was Ivory's show. You could not get enough of Ivory on season 4 of South Central Baddies. So basically, he really started off by giving her flowers, and I was like, as you should, because she was truly, no shade. She was the person who really made y'all, launch y'all off, for real. Honestly, her fate between her and Kash really set her up to be amazing. Isaiah seeing her on Las Vegas Baddies, putting her on South Central Baddies, honestly, iconic. And season 4 definitely was iconic. Sway was saying that was his favorite season of South Central Baddies, but that was his favorite season because, again, that's the season that made Now That's TV take off. And in my opinion, too, that's the season that made them the most money. Because after that, it was like, Ivory's on every show. Whatever you want. Because they knew, okay, she's a star. She is getting us where we need to go. She is making us some money. We finna have her on every show. Every show. She's going to be on everything. Okay? And, she took that opportunity and ran with it. And they also took that opportunity and ran with it. As y'all know, she's on South Central Baddies season 6. She's coming back to her roots. Coming back where it really jumped off her career for real. The starting point. I know she did another show. We're not talking about that show today, though. We're talking about the show that made her, the star that she is today. So Ivory ends up saying, that she's working on her music career, trying to just get more songs out, trying to have a career and, be more known for something else than fighting. Now, the way she said it, her tone gave, shame a little bit, in my opinion. But my thing is this, baby. What worked. What worked. If that's what you're known for, just be known for that. And like you said, try to elevate your career outside of that. But that's what worked. That's what stuck to the wall. That's what's sticking. So it's no real need to be ashamed of being known as a fighter. I definitely feel as though over time, though, her look has very much elevated. But don't get it twisted. She'll get down when she mad at. But again, I don't feel as though Ivory fight like she used to because she don't have to no more. She don't have to get down when she mad at like she did at one point. But she'll still, get down. She'll still get down. This is not important, but I'm going to add this in. She ended up bringing a cutout of herself to the Sway podcast because as y'all might not have seen, but in the corner of the Sway podcast, they have a cutout of Ferrari. And she was like, I see y'all got cutouts of other people. Shit, where my cutout at? And I said, a key, because, again, they have a cutout of Ferrari, but they don't have a cutout of their main star, which is Ivory. So she brought out her own little cutout, and I thought that was cute. So Sway ends up asking her, do she still fight on the streets? Which I kind of thought was a dumb question, but I'm going to let it rock. So he ends up asking her again, does she fight on the streets? She said, no. She said, if anything, when she's outside of filming, she's taking care of her daughter. Now, she added in and said, I'm not no deadbeat. I be with my daughter every day. Now, mind you, that's shade towards Kash. Because obviously, we all know Kash don't have her daughter. She see her daughter when she see her daughter, but she don't be with her daughter every day. So that was shade, thrown to Kash. They end up asking her opinion on Young and Reckless. So, mind you, this was most of the podcast, the interview. This was the chunk of it for real because they stayed on Young and Reckless the whole time. So, she basically said, it wasn't that good of a season, which we all collectively said it really wasn't an amazing season, but she gave her points on why it wasn't amazing. So she said, obviously everybody running over Ferrari, folks copping pleas, it's too much talking, folks trying to go home. And then he asked her, well, if you were there, what would happen? She said, bitches will be getting socked. More fades. Way more fades. Zanaya and Kayla fades. She felt some type of way about that. But let me add this in here. Zanaya ain't said nothing back yet. Zanaya hasn't said anything. Out of everybody and their daddy on the cast, Zanaya hasn't said anything back yet to Ivory. Keep that in y'all pocket because I'm sure that will be brought up later than sooner in the future. Now, mind you, when she was saying, the folks need to go home, she was talking about Kennedy, obviously. He did ask her, who was he talking about? Who was she talking about? And she was like, Kennedy. She was like, Kennedy should have been sent home. And Kennedy goes on the internet telling some Ivory, keep my motherfucking name out your mouth. Sock her when you see her. Sock her immediately. Sock her. Sock her. Sock her. Because I bet you, as much as we going to see All-Stars, I bet you money Kennedy be all in Ivory face in confessional. I like Ivory. I don't mind Ivory being a host. Bet you. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. Now, they did end up asking Ivory, would she host Young and Reckless? And she said yes. They also asked, would she be a co-host? And she said yes. She wouldn't mind, co-hosting with Ferrari, but she know that's going to be her stuff. She's going to run all over Ferrari, and it's going to be her way or the highway. I definitely agree. And the only reason why she going so hard behind Young and Reckless is because she felt like that was her show, and that was like the biggest thing that she did on Now That's TV was host. Or host. Now, mind you, Sway was like, well, I feel as though the host is nobody. I think, the cast makes more so of the show. And I do agree with him. I do agree. But I also understand where Ivory is coming from because it really does be her show every season. Every season, again, in number one place is always going to be Ivory. Ivory's always going to be number one when it comes to a show. It's never going to be anybody as far as when in Now That's TV world who would dominate Ivory when she goes on a show. It's usually never nobody. Now, mind you, on South Central Baddies, I see why she didn't say South Central Baddies was her show because South Central Baddies season 4, we needed everybody to play their part. Everybody played their part on South Central Baddies season 4. When it came to upstairs, downstairs, everybody played a role in that. So I understand her being like, South Central Baddies wasn't my show. But Young and Reckless, when she came in, she was the big bad wolf and she stood on business and she made everybody else stand on business. And, again, we've talked about this before. Season 3, by the time season 3 come, Ferrari should have been way more solidified in her spot. It should be no reason that people is still running over her. So I definitely understand that. Oh, now Sway was being messy. He was being real messy. So Ivory ends up talking about, maybe her and Danye might end up having like a daily dating show, like a poly show, where they invite a girly girl in, stuff like that. So they end up asking her, well, why don't you try to date Ferrari? Because Ivory explained that, she'll never put her hands on Ferrari anymore. She won't try to hit her anymore. They won't ever fight. She just won't fight Ferrari. And she let him know, Ferrari has this, weird obsession with her where Ferrari want to be with her, but, she don't want to be with Ferrari. So he's like, why? Why? Why don't you want to be with Ferrari? So she lets it be known season 2, she had aired Ferrari out, and they cut out, 20 minutes of her airing Ferrari out. Now, if you true to this and not new to this, you know why she's saying no. If you don't know, allegedly, Ferrari, has the same thing that Gucci has. Now, that's alleged. I don't know that to be true. I'm not in her health thing or anything like that. But every time Ivory and her get into it, Ivory bring that up and, basically just be like, girl, you got this. Girl, I never talk to you. I never be with you. But on this interview, she did spare Ferrari and, didn't tell Ferrari business like that. Which, It's nobody's business. I know I just told y'all, but I told y'all because just in case if some of y'all didn't know. Okay, I'm saying. But, you know, it's not none of our business to throw up in Ferrari face or nothing like that. I would never throw up her health in her face. But just so y'all know, that's why Ivory don't want to talk to her or don't want to be with her or never take Ferrari like that, because she don't want to catch that or whatever. She don't know what Ferrari got going on. So she don't want to, you know, have that. And I understand that. Then move on, and she is asked, you know, who was her best squabble. I thought she was going to say Kash, but she ended up saying Mel. So she gave it to Mel. She ended up saying, you know, Mel was her best squabble. He asked her, you know, do they still have beef? And she said, you know, she don't have no problem with her or anything, but 10 times out of 10, they will forever have beef because she threw piss on Mel. I said, right answer, folks. Right answer, okay? Because you definitely threw piss on that girl. So, yeah, that girl will forever have beef with you because you definitely threw piss on her. Now, I will say this too. I definitely don't think Ivory has a problem with Mel. If anything, last time they did baddies, I do feel as though Ivory wants Mel to win. You know, not against her, but like, you know, when Mel came and fought her on baddies, you know, it was like, okay, yeah, you was able to get your check, you came because of me, but I tore you, whatever. She gave me a light then. Then, you know, for the reunion, she went outside trying to fight Mel, but Mel felt uncomfortable. And I remember Ivory was on live and was like, I wish she just would have stayed. You know, she could have got a bag. You could have been on the next season. You know, you was self-sabotaging yourself, which I understand, you know, Mel being concerned and not really want to take that chance. I understand that. But, you know, overall, I do think that she wants Mel to win in this thing they call reality TV. She also gives Legacy's her credit, basically just saying that, you know, Legacy do be running her mouth, but she is getting better at fighting. And that says a lot coming from Ivory, you know, the one who tore her the first season. So, you know, the fact that she giving Legacy her props lets it be known that growth is really happening here with Ivory. Then turned to her and Jazz, and immediately I got bored. Immediately. So I put in my notes that Jazz is trying to prove herself on this show. Nobody wants her on this show, turning herself up to make herself seem as though she's getting there, like she's completing the assignment. Mind you, the only people on her hit list is Kash and Bree. Obviously, on Now That's TV, we rarely seen Jazz even pinch a fly on Now That's TV. She feels as though, oh, I came in too nice. I was trying to throw a different side. I'm 6 years older than Ivory. And, you know, I was in my soft girl era when I came on TV. My thing is this, you know, before I continue. Soft girl era, it is 6 years older. It is, listen, you seen how your sister was socking bitches on TV. You know, you are watching the show literally with your sister seeing how this shit go. So you let me know why you then came in on soft girl era, on soft girl energy, knowing that that wasn't how this shit was going to go. You wanted to be the opposite of your sister, and we said get her off the stage. We wanted Ivory twin. You know, we wanted you to turn up too. Even if you picked and choose your battles, you didn't even do that. You were just more so just sitting there, just standing there collecting a free check like Danye. You and Danye definitely know how to, you know, play the game here. So, mind you, they didn't talk about the show. She was like that Now That's TV has never called her to do a show by herself. They always put her with her sister. And honestly, in my opinion, they shouldn't have put y'all together. That's number one. But I feel as though when you dropped the ball with Mean Girls, they should have just kept you off. But I think it was more like they wanted their star to be happy, a.k.a. Ivory. So, because if y'all don't remember, when Ivory did a show after that, if it wasn't Young and Reckless, if she did a show after that, Danye and Jazz would come. So, I'm sure she probably was like, shoot, you know, go on put Danye on there, go on put Jazz on there. And it would be stuff more so like, you know, team stuff or couple stuff. But I just feel as though every time we seen Jazz after Mean Girls, she would drop the ball. And even on Mean Girls, you dropped the ball trying to come in, you know, trying to show a different side. show your soft girl era. And they soft your ass right on up and then call you for nothing but group shows that was just here nor there, that we wasn't stunned for real. Very much so. And once again, I definitely think somebody on the Now That's TV team does their homework, you know, and even if they don't, the T-pages do. So we all seen Jazz get tore by Baby Tyson. That's the part that she not adding in there. They've already seen you fight. You haven't been fighting on their network. You've been giving chill, laid back. Why would they keep calling you and you're not giving anything? That's number one. Then number two, when they finally do see you fight, it's on another network and you get your ass whooped. What do they gain by bringing you? Now, obviously, Isaiah gained something because the beef between Bree, Danye, and Ivory been 2 years. Bree want to run Jazz. She don't want to run Ivory. Okay, cool. So they bring Jazz. But I feel as though, too, they just brought you to finally fade. To finally show your skills. And you're going to be a little more hyped up behind your sister. And you're going to be more comfortable. Because Ivory said, you know, she not going to run none of Jazz's fades. But be ready for her to get Jazz backup fade. I definitely think these girls are going to pick and choose when it comes to Jazz. Jazz does need to go on a show by herself. But also, too, she need to prove that she deserves to be on another show. Because on all 4 of the shows that Jazz has been on, she's been ass. She's been boo-boo. She's wallpaper. Very much so. She hasn't given anything for us to be like, oh my God, yes, we need to see Jazz back in action. Bitch, you been flown by. Flown by. So when you didn't go on South Central Baddies, we're like, why? Out of everybody that we want to see fight, nobody wants to see Jazz fight. Why would y'all bring her? You on here turned up. Oh, swear, you gotta piss me off. You gotta piss me off. You gotta, like, girl, you up here trying to prove yourself. Get in that house, and you already slipping and sliding and getting beat up, allegedly. So I just can't wait to see. But I was immediately bored once Jazz came on to the podcast. I'm like, ain't this supposed to be about Ivory? And Ivory, you keep trying to share your spotlight with your sister that we don't want. Like, Jazz do not need to be on South Central Baddies. Like I said before, they already gave her a chance, and she ruined it. She fumbled the bag, so let her feel that. And again, she was in her soft girl era. You seeing the shows that your sister on. Bitch, is any of these shows giving soft girl era? No. None of these shows that she's on is giving soft girl era. So every time you come, you either trying to calm your sister down or you trying to prove yourself. And mind you, every time you prove yourself, it just don't work out in your favor. It never works out in your favor. So that's all I got for y'all in this one. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Bye.